soil. We are going to do the work thoroughly, completely, and safely. Environmental health scientist Dr. Erin Haynes joins me now with more. Well, there are people who live there, and while the studies are being done, they have to deal with, the water and the air and what have you. I know, Doctor, you've been talking with people in East Palestine. Is there anything that you're hearing from them in particular that concerns you?
Good morning. Yes, I'm hearing their concerns about their exposures and also the commitment for long-term monitoring. We really think that that some of their exposures, especially from perhaps the water, the drinking water, over time may take time to reach the well water level in which they'd be drinking. And so a long-term plan is one of the biggest concerns that I'm hearing that they need. They're anxious to hear that there will be long-term plans.
Yeah, so officials have said that the well water is fine, that no hazards have been found. I think they're still testing the streams and the rivers, and they also say the tap water has found no hazards, at least according to the testing. What is your advice to residents? Should they be boiling water, or should they be buying bottled water?
Not boiling. That boiling water it concentrates the chemicals that are in the water. As it evaporates, the chemicals concentrate. I wouldn't recommend that. Drinking bottled water is a good idea at this point, especially while concerns exist. And unless you've had your water tested, I would rely on bottled water.
So then what do you make of, the testing that's happened inside, homes, the indoor air coming back with no hazards being found? Is it because it takes time, at least in the water and the streams, for the chemicals to turn up?
Yeah. So most likely the air contaminants, the chemicals that were in their home and in their community have most likely settled out and down into the ground, into the soil and into the local waterways. But it could then, over time, and it may be a year, to enter into their water table and where they're getting drinking water from the wells. So it's important that there's long-term plans for monitoring their wells so that they're not drinking these chemicals later and no one's there to measure them.
Okay, but what about right now?
Right now, I believe the EPA has done, and I think, an excellent job of going into homes, collecting air samples, and providing information back. On water right now, they've also reported that the levels are safe. The municipal water treatment companies are able to remove anything that's in there. So I believe the water at this point is safe. But I would recommend they drink bottled water until more studies come out.
And cook with bottled water.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you're the environmental scientist here. What should residents know about vinyl chloride, right? Because that's what burned, which is in one of those cars. What chemicals are released when it breaks down, and what's the impact that can have on people in terms of, health?
Yeah. So the vinyl chloride, it goes away quickly. It was there. It was, in the fire. It burns. And most of it is probably dissipated and maybe even turned into something else. So when these chemicals heat at these high concentrations of heat and temperature, new chemicals can form. And then those new chemicals are out in the environment, in the water streams, in the soil. So that's the next concern, is to see what these byproducts are from the fire.
Yeah, it's obviously concerning when you're hearing from people who, are complaining of sore throat and nausea and headaches, even though officials are saying some of the stuff seem to be safe at this time. So bottled water, cook with bottled water, drink bottled water for now. Dr. Erin Haynes, thank you for the advice.
Yes, thank you for having me on. It's a pleasure. I look forward to working with the community in the future.
Sounds good. Thank you.